Good morning, everyone. It is Sunday, June 6th. Hardly seems possible that we are already in June, and since February, we haven't been able to meet together. I am always struck in the morning when I come to Christ Church to see the beauty of our church, of this building that has been so carefully constructed and tended and cared for over 130 something years, and brought and given to us as a gift by the folks who've gone before us. And since you can't be here, I just want to remind you how beautiful our building is. Of course, the camera doesn't do it justice. I look forward to the time when we can all be here together again. I still don't know when that's going to be. Some states are opening up. Ohio, of course, is opening up, but not to large groups. And I still see scary headlines from places in Florida and others that have opened up, and then the churches have become centers of hot spots where people have come to church and then carried the disease or the virus home with them, and we don't want that either. So we're going to be safe. We are. Lynn and I have been having some conversations. We're continuing to do so about how other things we can do, how we can be safe, what that might look like. And maybe next week we'll be able to make an announcement. This week we thought, but this week is probably just a little premature. So stay tuned. Be sure to join us next week. There might be an announcement. We don't have a lot of prayer requests. No, I don't have any additional prayer requests from what you will see in our worship service. I don't have any announcements that came in after that. But of course, we've all seen the news this week. It's hard. There's no time for me to go into all of that. You've watched the news. I'm sure you have opinions. But here's something I want you to think about. In an odd sort of way, one of the things that brought it home for me, and probably unnoticed by most people, one of the things that happened this week, again, not the first time this year even, a deaf man was killed by the police while he was frantically trying to sign to them that he was deaf. Now, I wear a cochlear implant. You know that. I'm hard of hearing. I don't have to sign, but if my hearing aid and my implant were not working, for example, if I got caught in the rain, I would have a really hard time hearing the instructions from the police. It's frightening to think that because of a physical characteristic over which I have no control could cost me my life. And that's what a lot of our brothers and sisters live with every day. Some of us grew up because we were puny and we were nerdy and we got picked on by the bullies and the big kids. Some of us got picked on because we wore glasses. Some got picked on because they had braces on their teeth. And it wasn't fair that we got picked on because of something over which we had no control. But our brothers and sisters live with that every day for hundreds of years. And we may not agree with all the choices that they make, but we remember that Martin Luther King said that riots are the language of the unheard. And I don't know if you noticed, but one of the things I noticed is a lot of the cities where the things remained peaceful were places where the police and the legislators of the leaders of those cities were willing to listen, and people felt like they were heard. To bring that back to us, what's that mean to us? Remember that as followers of Jesus Christ, part of our calling is to be a voice for the voiceless, to care for the people who have no one to care for them. And so there is a role for us to play. You'll remember that Paul, as a Roman citizen, was able to do things because he was a Roman citizen that no one else could do. And he used his, this is a word that gets used a lot this week, but I want to use it anyway. He used his privilege as a Roman citizen to open doors for him to preach the gospel. So maybe in those places where we can open doors to have conversation, we should do that. We should always be willing to stand against bullies. We should always be willing to be a voice for the voiceless, to care for the widows and the orphans, the outcasts, the outsiders. So let's think about how that calling of ours as followers of Jesus Christ calls to us in this current national crisis, this time of tension. What is it that Jesus is calling us to do because of who he has called us to be? I miss you. I can't wait until we are together again. Have a great week, everybody.